question is, do you guys see us on our end? It says we're live. Can someone go check and see if we are live? Check.
I am seeing us live. Hello, everybody. I was just not ignoring you.
Well, if we're live, dude, I got a lot of things to apologize for.
We're live now. No, yeah, go on. What are the many things you have to apologize for?
No, I don't have to apologize for anything. I'm happy. This is my first stream of the new season, so that's what I'm excited about. Madman, I think this is yours as well, correct?
It is definitely. I'm just apologizing in advance. Those are the things I'm apologizing for.
There you go.
Trying to get ahead of it by doing it now.
And I want to apologize for almost seem like we're making fun of apologizing. I don't want to demean the other apologies, so I'm sorry for that also.
I almost feel like it should have been on a notes app.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm sorry for not having the note ready for the apology.
Yeah.
What are you apologizing for again?
For a lot of things that are gonna happen down the line.
Like for the fantasy advice you're gonna end up giving, right? Is that? I feel like that's like the most accurate, assumption of what you're apologizing.
It could be.
Yeah. I also want to say that Darnell, you look so goddamn good in this camera. Whatever you're filming with, it looks like you're just sitting right in front of me. But oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Your boy put some money into this off season.
I mean, it shows. Like you look damn good. I'm over here. I got a light real close to me just to shine something.
I'm telling you, man. You gotta look at it. You gotta. It's all about the camera. Like that's the secret to beauty. It's not like if you're a good person or if you do you have a good workout routines. If you get a really good camera and really good lighting.
Amen.
Look at that. Everyone's name is updated. Everything's in there.
Let's go.
So
anyway,
this is your behind the scenes stuff you don't usually get at most shows. We're here for you.
Look, if athletes get a preseason to get better, I feel like we should get like the first few minutes of the stream of the season. I feel like that's fair, right?
That's very fair.
Well, anyway, for those who are watching, welcome. We are the Tailgate Show, where we give out fantasy advice, whether you want to or not. And sometimes, most times actually, I feel like most times are usually right, and then the other times don't exist.
Can't be right all the time.
Can't be right all the time.
But you can be wrong all the time. We've learned that.
You can. Especially if you're a Lions fan and you think you're going to win this week. That's when usually you kind of run into the roadblocks.
Hey, buddy. We're not experts. We're fans.
Exactly. So everyone, welcome to the Tailgate Show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about fantasy sleepers. We are cultured men of different team and fan base varieties. I myself am a Saints fan. Mad Moan, who's your team again? In case we forgot.
Mad Moan, Detroit Lions, super fan.
Super fan.
Detroit Lions is my team.
If you're a super fan, why aren't you wearing a jersey right now?
It's the preseason. It is the preseason.
He's wearing a Milwaukee Bucks shirt.
You don't want to. Yeah, I got to represent.
Which is like the rival of the Lions theoretically, right? As far as that's the Green Bay team.
Like I'm trying to show love to Milwaukee. I'm trying to show love to my rivals. So when the starts, that good juju, it's gonna reflect back in my fantasy takes and beliefs, and it's gonna cause me to win. So am I gonna sacrifice the deer tonight? For the Packers. Like who knows?
Heard. Well, that'll be fun content.
Yeah. Unlike those two
Subscribe
gentlemen.
to the YouTube.
Yeah.
It'll be a TikTok live situation. So.
There's a couple of us who actually represent our teams and are where we're from, and me and Mr. Michael over there. We're really brothers, and we love each other. We share a room in the SoFi Stadium, and I'm a Rams fan. My man here, Dubs, is a Chargers fan. So
big Chargers fan. I feel like it's like a very safe thing to say. Like I say Chargers, people don't really have an emotional reaction. They're just kind of like, oh, okay. It'd be like saying I'm a virgin, or it's like, oh, okay, like for sure. Just like it's just kind of like sure. But I think the fight at SoFi Stadium between the Chargers and the Rams fans, and the Chargers fans kind of really handling it.
It was really between like the Rams fans and the Rams fans, and then there were some Charger fans there.
Yeah, just throwing a couple punches and
a little rowdy.
To me, I was so happy to see that video, and I kind of want to see more of that. I want to see more Chargers fans, getting in fights, getting arrested, kind of just making it a divisive environment, because I want to be looked at as a tough guy for this. You know, I want us to be exciting.
Fear the bolts. Is that?
There
is
you
that
go.
Like
Exactly. Get electrocuted.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Get electrocuted.
Yeah.
Get zapped.
Yeah, zap them.
Ooh.
Anyway, so again, variety of teams: Saints fan, Detroit Lions, one of those cheating Rams fans beneath us, and then we have the Chargers.
Yeah, the Rams fans cheated, but we do have some fans in the chat too. Alan says you're basically a Green Bay fan, just like I was saying. So sorry, Ramon. And we also have a Niner fan named Niner HD. So they respect us. We respect them. Although I do hate the Niners, but you know what?
I love the Niners because they consistently just literally run all over the Rams. Like, just literally with, like, it doesn't matter. McKinnon, Mostert, Breida, some other guys whose names don't even matter, Tevin Coleman. And they'll just literally run up and down on the Rams, and it's great to watch. It's like poetic justice.
Well, you know. We'll see what happens this year.
Anyway, as always, start our show by cracking open a cold one. So let's crack open a cold one, y'all.
Bud Light Seltzer.
I'm doing
Topo
Chico.
Early. Mine's a bottle form. I already opened it. But
Topo
Chico.
Topo Chico.
Let's go. Sponsored by Topo Chico.
Wait, Taylor Swift tonight,
Give us
boys.
some money. Cheers, guys.
Ooh. Well, anyway, again, we're talking about our players and who we draft. So, as you know, there's a little thing going on called preseason, which is the season before the season. It's the pre of seasons. Makes sense. Now, again, because you come from different fan bases, it's a lot easier, and I found it's a lot easier to go straight to the source. Again, you can do as much research as you want, but a Bills fan is going to know all those Bills deets and tidbits more so than, you know, some random dude on Reddit that just saw how low Cole Beasley's ADP is. You know, talk to the fans. Like, I, for example, learned, speaking of the Bills, that Cole Beasley, speaking of Cole Beasley, was very much not pro again the vaccine. Which, again, believe what you want to believe. I do know and believe the NFL is going to stick true to their word that if you are not vaccinated, you're not going to play.
Well, it's not that if you're not vaccinated, you're not going to play. It's that if you screw your team over with getting COVID, they could have to forfeit a game.
So isn't
They're not going to make up anything.
So isn't the team then most likely the ones to be like, yo, you can't come with us?
Well, there's legal issues involved there, but it's very encouraged. Let's put it that way.
He already got in trouble too. Well, not so much in trouble, but he was a close contact, and so they had to remove him away from from a game or something like that.
So
he ended up being fine, but you're gonna have a lot of those situations, unfortunately, and when it comes to his fantasy value, it will take a hit for sure.
Yeah. So are we going to be looking at vax status then for?
Picks
here?
Honestly,
everyone that's 100% vaxxed up.
I think you kind of have to take a look at vax status. I think you kind of have to
Okay.
Or there's
Garrett. I think the Colts, if I'm not mistaken, are the first team with 100% vax rate. So
that Jim Irsay, he thought
that's why that's why we're gonna suggest a little bit later. I don't want to ruin it, but Carson Wentz second round is looking pretty good. So
I like it.
Just saying.
He thought he was getting high. Plot twist.
Yeah, Jim Irsay's like, "What are we doing? Who's got the needles? Let's go, baby!" And then they ended up just getting vaccinated.
He had his cheek ready. His put down.
Just give me the shot.
Let's go.
I feel like you kind of have to, because imagine being on. Imagine again, I hate the Rams. Imagine I'm on the Rams. I'm like a defensive, second string guy, whatever. I'm probably going to play 2 games this season, and I'm like, I'm not getting vaccinated. Y'all don't believe in it, right? Which is fine. It's my belief. But I get the team sick. We have to forfeit. I have to go put on pads to go up against Aaron Donald. Like, I don't want to piss this man off. Like, you cost me a game.
Just send Aaron Donald through the locker room. Say, hey, you're the vaccine guy. No one has to get the vaccine, but why don't you talk to everybody about the vaccine one-on-one? I think they might have some success rates with the vaccine.
He's like checking temperatures. He has that little gun. He's like,
you get vaccine. Nah, I don't believe in. I said you need to. Like, yeah, man, yeah, sure, yeah. You give it to me, bro. Like, yeah, that's fine, bro. It's good.
So we getting vaccinated today.
We getting vaccinated.
Okay.
You're in the shower. He walks in.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
that time, boss.
Yeah.
Hello, Funk.
So, that's an interesting spin, because again, every season you're worried about who's injury prone, right? Like if you have a Bengals quarterback, you're probably like, you might kill this guy, But like, it's now you have to consider what kind of person they are. Like, legitimately, if I were to draft Antonio Brown, I have to think. Do I think AB is going to get the vaccination? Do I think he's going to be out in a spot that's going to get him COVID? First off, any Miami player, I have to be worried about. Right? Not even
true.
like they could be on their P's and Q's, but just they're in Miami. And how is Miami handling COVID? Like, it's like these weird, like, if you want to like go another layer like higher than your opponents, you gotta think about that. And like I say AB specifically because I'd be concerned. I'm drafting.
He's a little volatile. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I haven't actually looked into if they have or if it's legal to release that information for team to team. I know a lot of teams have said whether they're pretty much fully vaccinated or not, but I don't know. I know like some players on the Cowboys weren't willing to talk about it, like Dak Prescott, which generally means they didn't get it. Which again, that's their choice, but it is something. It feels like valuable to know for fantasy owners. So
if Dak gets it,
fantasy
and doesn't play, that hurts Zeke. That hurts Cooper. That hurts
Ralph.
Well, we saw it last year. It hurts. Ralph.
Yeah, right. Took me a second.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, Raphael.
Yeah, sorry, Ralph.
But anyway, so again, some of our teams. So I'm going to take it first. Who wants to talk about the stud from their team? Again, we have preseason to look at some tape, but who do you know as a fan is like, yo?
Well, I'll go first. I feel like my guy is not necessarily the gonna catch anyone off guard. He's not being drafted in the 15th round or anything necessarily, but I think he's got such great value that the fantasy community has been sleeping on him, maybe until a little recently. His ADP's been moving up pretty steadily. He is a guy who is in the same offense, has been in this Rams offense for a couple years now. He's established himself when he needed to, and he's also kind of let some people down in the fantasy community. So I think he's burned some of those bridges, which might be why he's kind of being overlooked. But it's Tyler Higbee. He's a tight end of the LA Rams. And a couple things we need to know about Tyler Higbee is the last few years he has been sharing the tight end position with Gerald Everett, who's also a very good tight end, very athletic, good at what he does. But basically a split tight end is not what you want in fantasy. So Tyler Higbee has been kind of very hit and miss. He's definitely had some huge weeks, but for the most part, been very inconsistent. But let me tell you why I think he's going to be very consistent this year. So Tyler Higbee, if we look at his stats last year, again, very up and down. He did have 1 week where he was tight end number 1 on the entire season. That was like week 2. He had 3 touchdowns, went off. It was like, oh, this might be his breakout year. But then the rest of the year, not very good. You couldn't really even start him very much. But let's go back to the year previously. At the end of the year, last 5 games of 2019, Tyler Higbee was finally kind of getting his footing with the Rams offense. And Gerald Everett was sitting out those games. He didn't play the last 5 games of the season. The last 2 he technically played, but he didn't get any action on the field. And this is how Tyler Higbee's finishes were for fantasy at the end of that year. So 2019, week 13, he was tight end 1. Week 14, he was tight end 5. Week 15, he was tight end 3. Week 16, he was tight end 9. And week 17, he was tight end 1. Overall, during that 5-week span, he was the tight end 1 in fantasy football. Probably won some people the championships because that was during the playoffs and right leading up to the playoffs. All 5 of those weeks, again, were without Gerald Everett getting any plays on the field. And those were basically, for the most part, the only weeks we consistently saw Gerald Everett out and Tyler Higbee as the main option. Now, like I said, last year was very up and down. Gerald Everett was there. Well, Gerald Everett is not there anymore. Gerald Everett is with the Seattle Seahawks and could be kind of solid for them.
So now Everett's gone. So it's just like it's Higbee and who's like the second in command?
There's not really it's Higbee. It's as most teams I'd say have generally one tight end. This is one of those teams now. Gotcha. And the cool thing is Jared Goff is no longer here. And Jared Goff did target his tight ends, but not as much as Matthew Stafford.
Quick question.
Matthew Stafford. Yes.
I have many questions. What does this mean now that Goff is gone? Like what positives do you have from this man being gone?
Well, I think that Goff is a very middle of the road. He's the Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, David, whichever Carr is currently with the Raiders right now.
Derek.
And so those three guys I kind of see as the same quarterback. They're pretty good. They can win you some games. They're not going to lose you too many games necessarily, but they're very limited. Let's be honest. In the right system, they can do pretty well, and in the wrong system, they don't.
What the Lions system?
So the Lions are a terrible system that don't treat their quarterbacks well. I mean, at least for years. You know what? New coach Dan Campbell could change all that. But in the previous decade, where Matt Stafford's been there, he's been running for his life for most of his career. But that being said, Matt Stafford has also been amazing. He's battled injuries the last few years.
Yeah.
But if you remember, again, in 2019, when Matt Stafford, the first half of that season, he was like a top 3 QB in fantasy. And just in general, he was awesome. Ramon can speak for that. He started off the season super hot, and then he broke his back or something. And that was not good.
Yeah, he's been injured. He's had a lot of injuries. Full season with the Lions, you're gonna get that. So
yeah, but Matthew Stafford has been a guy who's targeted his tight ends pretty regularly, and he's going to be in this new offense that's supposedly going to be high-powered. I mean, we've seen that throughout Sean McVay's tenure with the Rams. It's very creative, and Matt Stafford is one of the most talented, gifted, physically talented quarterbacks that we've seen of his era. It's just been behind a very tough, situation. So I think it's only going to get better for most of the Rams' receiving options, and I think Tyler Higbee specifically, for the reasons I named, is going to show us that basically there's a top tier tight ends. There's Kelsey, there's
Kittle.
Waller, and there's Kittle. Those are the top. That's the top tier of tight ends. The next tier is also very good. You got Mark Andrews, you got Kyle Pitts maybe, and maybe one or two other guys. But honestly, in that tier, I see Tyler Higbee this year. I see him taking that step where he's a consistent option. He could get tight end one a couple weeks. We've seen him do that multiple weeks now in the last 2 years. But I think he's actually going to be consistent enough where you can start him each week. So he's going usually in 8th, 9th round now, I think, ADP wise in most drafts. And I think he is a bargain. If you don't get one of the top 3 tight ends, I'm waiting because Noah Fant is going ahead of him in most drafts. Gesicki's going around him. Guys like that are going in that same area. He's not even going with Hawkinson in them. He's going pretty low. So that's the guy, my Ram, that I want to have on most of my teams this year.
Ramon, I mean, you guys apparently had a really great quarterback and did
yeah. Sorry, Ramon.
Anyway, so now that you have golf, the golf.
All right, well,
Hey,
I'll go. I'll talk about my guy.
Talk about your guy.
I'll talk about Stafford. We did him a solid. He wanted out. We were like, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's take it to LA. You can hang out with your boy Kershaw. And you know what? We're gonna take that absurd golf contract for 2 years, and we're gonna get a few picks. We're gonna maximize. We're gonna make the best situation out of this, and that's what worked out. We couldn't protect Stafford. At bottom line, we couldn't. That's why he got hurt all the time. We just cannot take care of him as we should. This guy's also gritty, so he's playing injured all the time. Last season was kind of the last straw. You kind of saw he just couldn't do it anymore. He was too hurt. He just physically was not able to do it. Stafford's the type of dude that's just so gritty. He'll just come out, throw a bomb, and boom, next thing you know, it's a tie game. That's always on the line. And unfortunately, we couldn't take care of him. Now we have Goff. So all I know about Goff is he played a Super Bowl. So
it's more than Matt Stafford could say, right?
People forget about the goodness that Jared Goff can do. Now, this is the Detroit Lions, right? This is a rebuilding season. This is not a good season. We're probably going to be bottom in our division. We would be lucky to win 4 or 5 games. And the player that I'm talking about is going to be compared to a player that was in a similar situation. I'm going to talk about Tyrell Williams. So, Dubs, Tyrell Williams. He was
very
with
well
the Chargers for a little bit. Best season he ever had was with the Chargers. He has had 1,000-yard season before, and unfortunately injuries here and there. And moved out of the Chargers system. Goes with the Raiders. Tries to be the guy there. Doesn't really work out. We lost Galladay. We lost Marvin Jones. We're looking for replacements. Tyrell Williams is on the market. Let's bring him on over. Let's have him connect with Jared Goff. This is a guy that's being drafted in the 15th round or even undrafted. So if you are not big on him after my pitch, that's fine. On the waiver wires, make sure you try to get him in that week 1 because people are going to go after him. Because this guy's potentially the WR1 on his team, the Detroit Lions. So if you're just going strictly on depth, right? When you're going down in the mud, just rounds 12 through 15, if you're drafting a kicker or a defense, you already don't even care, right? You're just doing that to fill in your roster. But don't even draft a kicker, Go for Tyrell Williams. Go for someone that is the WR1 potentially on their squad, and it's costing you nothing. You see WR1s and other teams, you see how high they're going. Even WR2s, they're going very high, right? We talk about CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper.
Yeah, they're going really high.
Right, that's WR1 and 2. Now, we know Dak Prescott is obviously not Jared Goff, and he could provide for both. But if you're going to pay little to nothing for someone that could be potentially the WR1 on a team, go for it. He's getting comped to Devontae Parker. So if you guys remember Devontae Parker.
Oh, yeah. Where's Devontae Parker?
He's being drafted probably the round after Tyrell Williams because he has had many successful seasons, but 2019 was his breakout. I think he still is with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, he's with the Dolphins.
Drafted a rookie wideout.
They
just acquired, I think, Will Fuller, right?
Yeah. So it's just a mess.
He's kind of buried in the depth chart. Similar situation. The Dolphins aren't as great as the Lions as well. But in 2019 with Devontae Parker specifically, he got 72 catches, 12,002 yards, 9 touchdowns. That team went to just win 5 out of 11. Damn. So he ended up being the 11th wide receiver in PPR formats. And that's a guy on a losing Dolphins team. Yeah. This is someone that team is not great, not exciting, but we're talking about fantasy here. And the most important is that your guy's going to get his touches, he's going to get the plays, and it's going to score you some points.
So Niner just commented that it's kind of a similar situation as Corey Davis is in. I would say Corey Davis is in a much better situation because
absolutely.
Corey Davis is pretty good, and he is probably definitely the wide receiver 1 for his team. But yeah, kind of like Devontae Parker is similar, like Corey Davis-ish, maybe to last year. I think I think Ramon makes a great point. It doesn't cost you anything, and they have to throw to someone. Goff is going to produce somewhere, and honestly, I think this is why TJ Hawkinson is going to have so much value this year because he's
absolutely
number 1 receiver. Let's be honest, but also Ramon's right. If you hit on Tyrell Williams, and that's like the guy Goff wants to throw to more often than anyone else. That's a free WR1 in the 15th round.
And you can't hate that. And I will say, I've talked to Basilio and you, Garrett, many times, and I feel one of the biggest issues for Goff wasn't necessarily his skill. It was just when it came to him and McVay. McVay was kind of the puppet master of Goff's play style, and a lot of it was him overseeing it. And now Goff has a chance in this new system to kind of just be Goff and play himself. So that could really work in Tyrone's favor. And though he's going in the 15th round, or if being drafted at all, he can give you numbers that are at least worth a 7th round pick, which is a huge return, especially in dynasty and keeper leagues.
He's playing with a capable quarterback. This is Goff is a capable quarterback. He definitely earned his contract, but he quickly didn't. There's some cracks, right? You see the paper, it's a little crumbled up, but we're assembling it back. We see the cracks. We see what's going on here, but this team is going to be playing from the behind. They're just going to be behind all the time. You've seen that happen before. The Jaguars, they've played from behind. There's been many teams that have played from behind. And
produces offense when you're playing.
They're not going to run. They're not going to run much. DeAndre Swift has had injuries, issues. They just acquired Williams just to help out that situation with the running back because they're going to get a little banged up. Swift has been banged up. I don't think he's had a full season healthy, and you see that with Detroit. People get hurt. But with the receivers, they always prosper. That's why Marvin Jones went to the Jaguars, because he was a profitable wide receiver too. Tyrell Williams, he had that 1,000-yard season in 2016, so it's a little whiles away. Like, I'm gonna be honest here. Yeah, like I said, he hasn't been in a position where he's been the WR1 on a squad, but he's had it. But he has a career average of 15 plus yards and receptions. So I mean, that's pretty good. I love it for the price that I'm paying. And like I said, I did a recent mock draft, undrafted. Like, it was not even So if he's gonna cost you nothing, if you want to get a Detroit Lions player and root with the Lions with me, watch the Lions game. They're gonna be ugly, but nothing's better than watching your wide receiver perform and just get, especially if you're in the half point PPR or full PPR format. Solid.
Honestly, for teams that are like more than 12-team leagues, I mean, 12-team leagues that helps, but if you're in a 14-man league, Tyler Williams is almost a must draft. Yeah, because you
or
really
like 3
start
wideout situations, where you have to start 3 of them. That third wideout gets a little dicey. You're looking for someone that's going to get you some points. If Tyrell Williams can get you 10 or 12, like who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, he's definitely a guy you want to draft. Wait maybe a week or 2 to see if he's produced. Or maybe it's Josh Reynolds, and then you go get him, because all their receivers are pretty much in the same boat. But I think Tyrell Williams is probably the guy, so Ramon's on to something there.
Yeah. All right.
Love Tyrell.
Well, heck, I'll go next. Like, I want to talk first off. I'm a Saints man. All right. There's a lot of hoopla about
who's your quarterback.
Oh, Jameis Winston.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's gonna go 30 for 30 again.
I know he's gonna go for. I will safely bet he would get 30 touchdowns this season.
If he starts the whole year, I would agree.
He's gonna start.
Although
if he's healthy,
his wide receivers are pretty.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Okay, first off, if there's one thing the Saints know how to do, is 2 things. You know how to get a good wide receiver. You know how to get a good running back. Don't forget, Brandon Cooks came from us. Michael Thomas is us. All right, we know how to draft a good wide receiver. And we drafted this. He was an undrafted rookie. We got this man last year. Didn't do much because we were all in all kinds of them. But we all kind of knew it was Drew Brees last year. We all knew Drew Brees wasn't throwing long. It was mostly Kamara dump offs and kind of like the easy game, because I love Drew. That's our quarterback. But like, age is undefeated. You cannot outbeat age. And with Jameis Winston there,
that's your Tom Brady.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what kind of thing he sold his soul for, but yeah.
Tomatoes.
Real quick, just to touch on Niners thing. He said, Niners said, I did end up getting Swift and TJ in my draft. Kind of bummed, but
let's go.
I want to say it's a kind of bummed.
No, you got it.
I do like the value, and honestly, I've always respected Goff, despite the hates he gets, similar to Jimmy G.
Yeah, very similar quarterback.
Goff takes care of his running backs too, as Garrett has mentioned through many conversations.
What about
Todd Gurley was a guy.
Todd Gurley was a running one for like 3 years with Goff. And then also last year, they just didn't really have a guy they committed to fully, but those guys ate when it was their turn.
Well, yeah, you can have the Todd Gurley, who's back up on the Falcons or whatever. I don't know where he's at now.
He's not signed.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with,
let's talk about good
Trojans
that know how to keep healthy players. As I am going to completely dismiss the Michael Thomas injury. Anyway, I want to talk about Marquise Callaway. All right. Everyone is talking about this man, which makes me very upset because I'm a Saints fan. I'm watching this. I already know about this. People ain't looking at Marquise Callaway. Now they are, because this dude went off, caught an amazing touchdown pass on a clearly PI play, still catch it between 2 receivers, gets a touchdown. Does an amazing other one-handed grab right on the pylon, touchdown. Everyone's like, oh my God, this man's kind of good. And as a sports team fan, you're kind of like, fuck. Because now everyone's going to look and start trying
There's eyes on him.
There's eyes on him. And you're like, no. So I felt when Kamara was getting drafted. It's like, I've never been able to really draft Kamara because everyone's like, Kamara's good. I'm like, you're not even a fan. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't.
They just don't deserve it. Yeah.
You don't deserve it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Mike, you just got Justin Herbert. Like, imagine if Garrett's running around with Justin Herbert wearing his Rams gear. How insulting!
I'd be so upset.
Not
someone's keeping Eckler, and I'm pissed. Like in our keeper league, someone has Eckler, and every time I
you
look
were
at
keeping Eckler.
Oh, Oh, you'd think so, because that's
dang, I'm
that's
sorry, bro.
like that's
rough.
if everything was right with the
Oh,
universe, that'd be the
it's
case.
Darnell. Darnell's keeping Eckler.
Are you keeping Eckler?
Hey, right.
So you understand? You know
Look,
you know the pain from both sides.
He's trying to throw me under the bus.
He's like, hey, draft Kamara, and I'll trade him to you.
Hey, yeah, look at we can talk, bro. We can talk. Look at now. I know. Look at you got like 2 first-round draft picks. All right, let me
If I can
have
draft
something.
Kamara, I will. I'll let you keep Eckler, and we'll support each other.
That's fine because my money's on Eckler. I would say Eckler's gonna. We'll talk about this afterwards.
All right.
Anyway, Marquise Callaway, fantastic undrafted rookie of last year. This year he's balling out. Michael Thomas is going to be gone for at least a week.
And so is Traquan Smith,
And Traquan
probably.
Smith, who's also
And
another
so is Adam
phenomenal player.
Troutman,
It's just
by
a
the
lot of
way.
injuries, and I think we're really shuffling the board, trying to get receivers we can. Emmanuel Sanders is gone. We're making it work, and we're going to throw to somebody. And Winston, for all the qualms you might have about this man, he did
gonna throw it.
He did throw 30 for 30, but also he had laser eye surgery, and then
Ooh.
he spent the year learning from Drew Brees. This is a good Winston. Winston has had a fantastic preseason, so in a quarterback can throw. Even on the Bucks, he was throwing and putting up points. He might get a lot of interceptions, but we're not talking about drafting the quarterback. We're talking about drafting the receivers. And Mike Evans and Godwin put up points consistently. Marquise Callaway is going to have to be the guy. And Sean Payne's no dummy. We have Kamara, so our running option is still a threat. We have a couple new tight ends that we're still trying to figure out. So, I mean, it's really no man's land, but you have to go with the guy who's been hot. And Callaway's been that. Some little fun facts, okay? Some little fun facts that you need to know is that he does have some injury problems. He had a concussion, but also who hasn't?
It's not fun.
Who hasn't had a
It's not
concussion
a
in
I think
the
I'm
NFL?
concussed right now.
Right? It's like if you're in NFL, who hasn't had a concussion? He had a chest
Throw it.
rib bruise, a grade A1 pedal ankle sprain in 2020, a knee patella last year. But look, 2020 was rough for everybody. That's just that universal karma, a minor step back for a major come up, and that's where we're at right now because this boy's been killing it. Now, I will warn you, I've seen him go in some drafts like 6th, 7th round. I've seen him go before Michael Thomas, and I'm like,
Callaway?
yeah,
Callaway?
I've seen him go before Michael Thomas.
Wow, I was seeing him going like a 15th round. So that is
No, he is
jumping up.
And I did know he is not going in the 15th round anymore. Like them days is
Well,
them days is 2
Michael
days
Thomas's
behind us.
injury also helped that out too, because he
Yeah.
was sidelined for
But
a while.
again, everyone's looking. Of course, off the fantasy hype trains get, he's going super high. I don't know if he's worth a 7th round pick. I'd be frank with you. I would still get him. I think you could put up that value easily. I just don't know if I just think there's better. Some other things that he didn't do a lot last season, but again, we were dealing with the Drew Brees that was injured. Taysom Hill, we're really last season looking toward the future, so much so than that season. Yes, we did get to the playoffs, but keeping Drew Brees in was definitely like, a tip of the hat to the old girl before you put her down, Again, already in the preseason, James Winston's probably thrown just as far, if not further, than Drew Brees has done all last year. And that's because Drew Brees is just getting banged up. He's like, what? We went to the Rams game where he got injured before he even sat down. And then last year, he's getting just banged left and right, crack ribs. You're like, oh, my God. Someone throw in the towel. So I just really want to talk about just the strengths of him. But, again, I think Marquise Callaway is worth a look. If you haven't seen the highlights, I know you're going to find them online if you haven't already seen them. And, again, there's really not everyone else has been injured or not there. So, I mean, is that Winston throwing?
Okay.
Yeah, look, in one of my mock drafts, someone drafted Ramondre Stevenson from the New England Patriots in the 10th round. Who's that guy?
Hey, you gotta
be
get him
good.
on the show and find out.
Probably.
Yeah. Get Callaway.
Also, another little thing, Callaway, I forgot a little tidbit. In college, when he was at Tennessee, he got an average of 21.2 yards per catch, which means this boy is a deep threat monster, and we saw it on full display. So you have a
Jameis
quarterback.
he can throw that ball.
And he's got eye surgery and that Drew Brees knowledge now. I'm like, he might just be a top 10 quarterback of the season. Honestly, probably top 5.
Was Callaway the one in the highlight where Jameis throws his bomb and it just somehow like two people cover him and the footwork, and yeah, he grabbed it. That was the Detroit Lions wide receiver that would have been ruled like not a catch.
Yeah. They're like, eh.
Yeah.
Shout out. That was nice.
Can't mess with fate. Yeah.
So that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Mike, take us home. Who do you got for the Chargers? Who's the Charger you need to know?
All right, well, I got someone I want to talk about, someone I kind of want to warn you about. So, first person, and then I'm going to put it all in perspective for you. We're going to put a nice bow on it. I'm going to let you think the way I think here. So, first, let's talk about Josh Palmer. Third-round draft pick for the Chargers this season. He came to the team humble. You know, a lot of people get drafted. They're a little cocky, like, let's get this ring, whatever, which is fine. You like to see that. But you also like to see someone come in and say, hey, I'm going to be a great compliment to Allen Williams. So he understood what he was getting into. He understood who he's playing with, and he showed respect for him. He's got out there in training camp, and he's been killing it. Every time he gets off the field, he runs over to Allen. He says, hey, Keenan, help me out. What do you want? What can I be doing better? Keenan Allen's one of the best route runners in the league. So, look, and Mike Williams is there too, and he is the number 2, but he's also on a contract year. So
he's also going to get injured by week 3. So
that's okay. And that's
Big
the thing.
facts.
If you've ever seen Mike Williams catch the ball, essentially he just jumps up in the air, tries to catch the ball, and then his body just lands just however, just breaking. Yeah. It's disgusting. Allen has said that where Palmer is right now, he's ahead of Allen where he was at that time. So obviously year 1, so Allen's grown as a receiver, but he's saying he's already a step ahead of him. And the way he's thinking about the game, the way he's running these routes, the way he's practicing, he's killing it. You know who else is on board? A guy named Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert loves playing with this guy. He's another rookie. I see this as Herbert's rookie season. Even though he got rookie of the year last year, he didn't start game 1.
Back-to-back rookie of the year.
Back-to-back.
It wasn't his season. He wasn't supposed to start that. And then we jammed my guy in the ribs and the lungs and stuff. And so
politics.
Yeah, it's who knows? You know,
blood sacrifice for a great quarterback.
And but so I still see him as this is like his rookie season. He's starting out. This is his team, new coaching staff. And we got the rookie wide receiver. They've been staying after practice every day. Justin Herbert even was quoted as saying, I had to remind him, like, hey, we got shit to do. We can't just be out here throwing the ball all day. Like, we have a game on Sunday. You got to go. So he's dedicated and he's motivated to get that rep going with Herbert. So it's just boom. And I see him as 2 rookies. Like, so they want to grow together. And then on the flip side, we got Mike Williams, wide receiver 2. Injury prone, kind of just because the way he plays the game. He's that deep threat. He's never getting the little dump off like 6 yards, 7 yards. He's going to get 3 catches and like 60 yards in a game. That's just the way Mike Williams plays. He's in the contract year. They're probably not going to renew him with the Chargers.
No.
So the new regime kind of, I mean, obviously he has value, but Mike Williams is kind of going around early 9th, late 8th round draft pick.
I love it.
You know what? I would be careful.
My question.
I would be careful. What's up?
Could this potentially be your Justin Jefferson?
And I think
Josh Palmer.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. You don't know. So there's the human nature aspect of all this. This is where it all comes around. Now, no one's going to say this in an article. Justin Herbert, new guy. You know, Allen's been on the team since 2013. You know, he's a vet. So, of course, Herbert wants to get that rapport with Allen. He's one of the best receivers in the league. But he's also going to be excited to get the guy he's coming up with. You know, maybe Palmer is going to be one of those guys that's with him throughout his whole career. And Mike Williams, he's on his way out. We got a new staff. They're excited. They drafted Palmer. So they saw something they liked. You know who else was a third-round draft pick? Keenan Allen. So, you know, they're sitting there saying, all right, we got this. We like our third-round wide receivers on the Chargers.
Love it.
He's been killing it at training camp. And so I'm saying if you're looking for that third person, I would maybe skip Mike Williams in the 9th, get someone else, fill another need, and grab Josh Palmer in the 15th or 14th. No, because no one else is drafted.
Off waivers.
Yeah. And Mike Williams is really boom or bust. You know, he could have that 100-yard game. Most of the time, though, he's not. He's tapping out at like 75 yards or so, maybe 3 or 4 catches tops. Like, this is at the most. And at the least, he's going to get you 4 or 5 points a game, if that. So, and I think this contract year, which could either mean he's going to be motivated out there ready to play, or he's playing on a team that's kind of moved on without him. And so I think Josh Palmer might be coming up. He's not even an official WR3 at this moment. So that's not even official. But with the way things are going out there, everything I've read, everything I've seen, that's going to end up being what happens as we go into the season. So Josh Palmer, look out for him.
Okay. Well, shit. With that said, those are the 4 at least of ours. And I'm like, oh, I think the worst part is that we all play in the league together, which.
Yeah, I'm gonna draft Higbee. Oh yeah, I'm excited. Callaway, can't wait.
That's like the tragedy of this show is that, like, especially preseason, we're just like, how much do you want to let go of our secrets?
Yeah. The good thing is we're in so many leagues that we'll get our guys in some leagues, and others we won't, and it'll pay off in some, and some of them will pay off when we don't get them. So
What I love about Dub's pick too is that this is a guy that will probably not even get drafted, right?
No.
And yeah, in our league, he probably will. I know certain leagues, our dynasty keepers, like there's certain situations that kind of complicate things, or you could benefit from. So if you could get like that Palmer, if you could get that Callaway, if you could get these guys, Higbee in the 10th, 9th, or whatever, and potentially keep them or keep them in a dynasty league or whatever, this is what you want. These are the guys you want to look for. You don't want to just grab a backup quarterback. Like, what's Derek Carr going to do in your system when you have Patrick Mahomes? Like, I don't like drafting someone because I'm planning for an injury, right? Unless it's your running back, unless you're investing a lot in like Zeke or Cook. And
you want to back him up.
You want to back him up, but like a wide receiver, you don't want to back up a wide receiver with another wide receiver. Just hope maybe he gets hurt. It doesn't matter. You want to try to grab these lotto pickets. And you want to try to get ahead of the game. I think I played in a league with Garrett once, and I think he might have drafted Patrick Mahomes in like the 15th round.
Look, this is what happened. So 3 years ago, when Patrick Mahomes came off his rookie year, so he's going into his second year, first year as a starter. The MVP season went through 50 touchdowns. I picked him. I picked him in like as my last pick because I was like, I want to take a risk on him. I had like Jared Goff as my quarterback. Why not? Before week 1, I'm like contemplating, like, man, you know what? Jimmy Garoppolo's sitting there on the waivers. I feel like he's probably got better odds than Mahomes paying off this season. So dropped Mahomes for Garoppolo. And then like 2 weeks later, I dropped Garoppolo, and Mahomes was already the best player in the league. So that was a fun time. Yeah.
Damn.
Must be nice.
A lot of these terrible stories.
You gotta wait it out. Just wait it out. If you pick up these guys, wait it out, because nothing sucks more than like that guy that picked up like Odell Beckham Jr. rookie and just dropped him, or before the season starts.
That was me and Justin Jefferson dropped him.
Julius Thomas. I remember there was a season when Julius Thomas just tore it up and was the tight end like one with the Broncos and was just killing it. And I had dropped him because I was like, oh no, I should get this guy. And before the season even starts, I get it. You have idle hands. You don't know what to do. Like, you're excited to like mess around with the interface and drop someone, and I get all that stuff. Give it some time. Get your lotto picks. This is why you're doing the research now, so you could plan for that. You don't want to be the guy that's figuring out what order you are in the waiver wire, so you could hopefully get your guy, because these guys are some savages. There's people out there that work overnight shifts, and they're waiting for like 3 a.m. Like, oh, boom, I got him. I got the guy. Da da da. And you're like, bro, you don't even care about him. Like, yeah, but I read somewhere that he's like, oh, shut up. Like,
that's the worst.
Get ahead of it.
You believe in
Listen to us. And so what if we're homers? Okay, so what if I love the Lions? Tyrell Williams.
You gotta trust the homers, like Darnell's saying. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking about it. You gotta. If anyone's gonna have that passion or have that perspective, it's gonna be the people that care.
Yeah, the people who are going to the games, like the Lions fans, who are still buying tickets and jerseys and merchandise and wearing those things in public. You're like, oh my god, you really believe in this? And they're gonna at least at the minimum sell you a story that's gonna teach you about
Honolulu Blue, brother. That Honolulu Blue pops. Like
it gets popped.
At a glance, people were like, "Oh, that's a Dodgers jersey." Like, oh wait, hold on, it's the Lions. Okay.
Why would you choose the Dodgers like that?
Why would you choose to be a Lions fan?
This brings up something because a couple of us are going to be going to the Rams and Lions game in a few months here in October, and Ramon is a Lions fan. I'm a Rams fan. Thing is, though, I have a Jared Goff Rams jersey. So do I wear that?
No.
Or does Ramon wear that? Or I think it's kind of like respect. Like,
no.
I'm wearing Rams, but I'm also kind of like.
I wear that, and I wear my Stafford jersey. We're gonna take a lot of.
I'll say here's the thing is.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
That feels like a cop out because like for the Rams, you're like, that's fine. Good luck, Goff. It's like He got booted out of L.A. to Detroit.
No, well, we upgraded.
Okay. So it's like, hey, they didn't believe me, so I got
a personal like. Screw you, Goff. You're
I would feel
like, okay, thanks, Goff. Bye.
I would feel
like
thank
you for leaving.
Here's how I would feel. I get the team to the Super Bowl, right? Lose to Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches in history. I lose to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And then everyone's like, Goff don't got it. He's just kind of a bum. Get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. Let's get Stafford. Goff is cool, but this is an upgrade. Clearly an upgrade. Bye. Go to Detroit. Bye. And you think I'm going to come back and be like, hey, respect. Hey, wear your jersey, man. Hey, we had good times, right? As you flaunt, it's like you cheat on, you ditch me for some new girl and then start like, it's like, oh, me and Rebecca think you're so nice. You deserve, like, don't give me that.
I think that's what we're going to do, Ramon. I think you got to wear the Stafford jersey. I gotta wear the Goff jersey, and we're gonna take
a lot of cute pictures. We're gonna like hold hands, do like the whole like back thing. Like shaking hands and shit.
We're like looking at each other like confused, like switching jerseys. Like whoa,
like where are we now?
All that disgusts me. It disgusts me. I'm like,
If the Lions win, though, I might get kicked out. I might end up being in that fight. I might. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Hey, speaking of the Rams,
Stafford.
Speaking of the Rams and the Rams game, by the way, there was actually a big deal that went down today in the NFL. Not a big deal. It was a deal. A trade went down in the NFL, which doesn't usually happen this time of year. The Rams traded 2 draft picks because the Rams don't like having draft picks at all. They're toxic to LA. You get rid of them as soon as you get them. They traded 2 draft picks, I think a 4th and 5th rounder, to the New England Patriots for Sony Michel, who was basically the backup running back in New England, getting some carries, but that was about it because they have Damian Harris over there. And then the Rams, because first off, we all know Cam Akers is done for the season. Darrell Henderson has looked good when he's played, but he cannot stay healthy for the 2 years he's been with the Rams. And he already sprained his thumb a couple days ago. And so they're not even sure if he'll be available for week 1, although it looks like he might. Either way, they're like, you know what? We need a little more than Xavier Jones and Jake Funk, who are a little bit iffy right now. So they got Sony Michel, who's probably going to factor into the season for the Rams. He's very young, I think 24, 25.
24.
He's only his 30 year in the NFL. He was kind of a disappointment, it felt like, to New England, but then again, he also won a Super Bowl in his first year, and he's been all right. He's produced a little bit, not great efficiency, but he's all right. So it'll be interesting. I don't think he's a guy necessarily you got to go draft in fantasy leagues.
How early would you take him? The early, the absolute earliest.
Because we're like talking about sleepers.
Probably would.
And Sonny Michel's a great name for sleeper opportunity.
I mean,
someone in the late rounds.
It's early, right? We don't even know. He's got to learn the Rams offense. They have their first game in 2 weeks or whatever. I don't think he's going to be someone who you need to draft, to be honest. I think he's someone you watch and you pick him up in the waivers week 2, if anything, if you see he's getting productivity. But I think it does eat into Darrell Henderson a little bit. I think Darrell Henderson is not going to be full workload guy that we're kind of hoping for. So I'm not drafting Darrell Henderson in the 3rd like he's going right now.
That's what I'm saying. Why pay the 3rd for Darrell Henderson? Similar to like Dub's situation with Mike Williams. Why pay this player with the earlier rounds when you could go later and get probably exact same value?
I don't know if they're the same, but I'd say, I think they're
if Darrell Henderson gets hurt, I would say Sony Michel
doesn't get hurt.
It could be a guy getting in your last pick of the draft.
I will say this: most New England running backs don't do good, right? And is it that they draft terrible running backs?
Say that.
Well, I feel like they don't produce like a stud. There's no Ecklers coming from New Orleans, from New England. There's no Kamara. They don't have that. They didn't ever have.
Well, they had LeGarrette Blount, who led the NFL in touchdowns like 2 straight years, a couple years ago.
A couple years ago, or like many years ago, or was it like
like 5 years ago? I think.
Yeah, 5 years ago, and it's like mostly like goal line touches that Tom Brady has led them to, right?
Yeah.
So true, but I feel like there is some correlation there. There's no Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady was there. Like, it's a lot easier when you have like Tom Brady and Mahomes marching down the field and you get a 1-yard run. I mean, because on paper, fantasy, he's fantastic. But you're looking, you're like, okay, well, Tom Brady did all the work. You got a 1-yard touchdown. Like, that's why we hate those vultures that come in and get the goal line backs. I know J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards fans had a whole field day trying to figure out, like, oh, J.K. Dobbins can do all the work. Now here comes Gus Edwards to screw up my fantasy, you know? Like, so my question is, that's not so much that I don't think New England has bad running backs or great running backs. I just don't think they've never been
their scheming.
They've never been an opportunity to really excel. They don't commit to the run game. They don't really kind of think run first.
This could be great for Sony. I mean, he's going to the offensive genius, quote unquote. I think probably I'd lean more that way, to be honest. But of Sean McVay and that offense, and Matthew Stafford likes to throw to his running backs, and Sony Michel, we don't think of as a guy who catches a lot of passes, but in college he totally was. He was one of the things coming out of college was how good of a pass catcher he was, and he just wasn't schemed for that way in New England. So it really could open up Sony Michel to being a productive piece of this great offense in LA, but it'll be interesting. I think for Damian Harris, it also moves the needle for me personally. I think Damian Harris's value, he's been getting drafted in the 6th round, depending on the league, and he's looking a little better because Sony Michel was going to get a lot of touches, but he's not anymore. And they have a rookie, Ramondre Stevenson, like you mentioned. Now people are saying, okay, he might have established himself as more of the 2 there. That could be the case, but I think Damian Harris is the guy, and it looks like Mac Jones is going to be starting probably now. And if that's the case, that's a big deal for their running backs because Cam Newton is no longer their goal line running back, which was what was really detouring Damian Harris's value.
What's up, Ramon?
Would you take Stevenson in the 10th round or Sonny Michel in the 15th?
Sonny
Michel.
Sonny.
Yeah. And I don't know. Sonny Michel could go a lot higher than 15th. It's hard to tell because
him in the 15th.
Absolutely.
That was before. Yeah, this was like 3 days ago. And you know how it is with the preseason. Like everything changes week by week.
I've seen so many
players climb up. Where I'm looking at the Tyrell Williams, right? I'm looking at the Callaways. I'm looking at these other guys because the guys that I wanted, now they're going in a round that I've already planned to draft someone else that I could probably still get. But on that turn, right, 12 team, you're waiting 24 picks to come back around. Like, it could be tough. You know, it could be tough. Like every round, it could be really difficult.
Speaking of draft picks, and I'll see if I can pull this up again. This is like one of our second stream this season, so there may be some technical. I want to preface that already. But I want to try showing you guys this. Hold on, let's see here. Let's see right here. Bam. I want to show you guys this picture right here. Okay. This is a picture of someone's actual NFL fantasy team, okay? Just run through if you can't read this handwriting. Their quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. So far, so good. Their starting running backs, Mike Davis, Ronald Jones. Okay? That's their starting. Their starting receivers, Calvin Ridley, Godwin. Tight end, Kyle Pitts. Their flex, DJ Moore. Then kicker, defense doesn't really matter much. And then here's their bench, Mike Williams, Mac Jones, Gabriel Davis, Marquise Callaway, Xavier Jones, KJ Hamler. That is this squad right here. Okay, you guys absorb this? You guys understand who the squad is?
Oh yeah.
My question is
KJ Hamler.
What do y'all think about this? Is this, first off, on a scale from 1 to 5, right? 5 is like fantastic. Hey, you crushed this draft. A+. There's, great. You're winning. You're going to the playoffs. And 1 where it's like, bro, this is worse than auto draft.
Who was their first round pick?
So it had to have been
Patrick Mahomes.
I was going through the comments. Patrick Mahomes is not their first round draft pick.
No, is it the wide receiver? Who were their wide receivers? Their wide receivers are actually
Ridley, Godwin, or they're starting 2 wide receivers.
Probably not Ridley.
Yeah, it was
running back was what? Mike
was
Davis.
Ridley?
It was Ridley. First round draft pick.
Was it a 20-team league?
10-man league.
What the fuck?
It's 10-man league.
Yeah, the 10th pick.
Let me double check. The comments have been brutal. It's been,
yeah.
This has to be one of the ugliest RV stables I've ever seen. Sobbing faces. God, if it's a 16-team draft and you have a keeper on the next page. Oh, God. Let's see here. What did they do? Really is my first pick. Mahomes is my second. Pitt's fourth.
Is there a way you could just copy and paste that roster on our chat? Because this is the more I look at it, the grosser it is. Like I respect the handwriting on the paper. Like I'm a big like paper note guy.
Yeah.
All my fantasy stuff is just like 7 names, just like highlight with little stars on them, and that's all I need to know.
Just give us a starting lineup because that bench is not worth right now.
Yeah.
That bench is gross. Like,
so their running back situation is just this is a no running back strategy to drafting, and this is why it's so dangerous this year specifically. I mean, he probably got Mike Davis in the 5th or 6th round as his first running back, and then Ronald Jones. Like, that is just really rough. Jones is probably the 3rd most efficient runner this year for that team, which is going to be rough. And then Mike Davis, I do like as my like 3rd option for running back or flex option. I think he could be very good, or if you go no RB, he could be your 2nd RB maybe. But man, that he was so ugly.
The thing with Mike Davis though, he's never had like an opportunity to be like the RB1 on the squad.
Well, last year, and he was good. Last year, and he was good.
With where? With which team?
With Carolina.
He was there. Because of CMC.
Yeah, and he did well. That's why he got this job. But he didn't do well enough to be your RB1 even. He was a good RB2 pretty much for the whole season. He had some really good weeks though. But I mean, I really like Calvin Ridley. I think he's
on the older side, you know. He has some years on him.
They picked Calvin Ridley at 8th.
Is it like a full PPR league or something? Like, does it say
what college did he go to? Calvin Ridley. Maybe that's why he got.
It's a 12-team league.
He's Alabama. Yeah, that's he just
12-team league, and they took Mahomes in the 2nd round. And it's a Calvin Ridley in the 1st, 8th pick overall in a 12-man league. Calvin Ridley.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good value. Looking at those, like, I'm gonna tell you this. Hear me out. Getting those 2 running backs as your starter, right? Because here's the thing with running backs, right? They get injured. Yes or no?
Yeah, almost none.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook played the whole last year. Kamara played the whole last year.
Derrick Henry. He also missed 2 games.
Before Dalvin Cook's like awesome season, like Dalvin Cook was getting hurt all the time. And that's why Madison. That's why if you're drafting Dalvin Cook, draft Madison because you probably.
Okay, here's the thing: is that we can remember when 1st-round picks don't play, but I feel it's so commonplace for the 7th below to not play or not be good that we don't even remember their names to remember how bad they were. Like, I can say KJ Hamler this year, and 3 years from now, I'm like, remember KJ Hamler? You're looking at his name right now, who's playing, and you're like, who? Like.
The only thing I'm trying to say here is that out of 10 running backs, 7 of them are not going to perform or get hurt, and the other 3 are going to be solid. And what underperform is underperform, right? Like you would say Clyde Edwards-Helaire was kind of like that. Leonard Fournette, same situation, right? Like, you know, had a lot of opportunity, boom, just was.
Well, he also got cut, right? That was.
He was also like a nuisance, I think, in their eyes. I don't think personally. I kind of like Leonard Fournette. He's a cool guy. We talk all the time. He's at the show, and he likes my fantasy takes and stuff. There was an opportunity he could have gone to the Lions, but I told him, you know what, like, just go hang out with Tom Brady.
I just want you to tell me if this team is good or not. 1 through 5. What is this team?
Well, let's go 1 through 10. I feel like 1 through 5 is so limited.
Fine, 1 through 10.
1 through 10, I'm gonna give this a 6 because Mike Davis gives me Zach Collins vibes. Remember that guy? He was a Baltimore running back. I give him a 6 because
what does the one team look like to you?
A 1 team? Okay, all right, maybe 6 is too high.
I'm like, if Cage,
I like the risk, man. I love the risk. Like just stacking up.
Upside's not that high.
Mike Davis and Cal Pitts, I like that a lot. And Calvin Ridley, Garrett, you had Calvin Ridley. Please talk about
Calvin Ridley. Yeah,
did you draft him in the 1st round, 8th pick overall?
No, I think it's too early. I think he's a start of the 2nd round type talent.
And think about this: you have Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams. You have so many
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. You have running backs or tight ends. You can go Kittle. I don't understand. Not Kittle.
That being said, well, Calvin Ridley is his strong piece of this team, and we're all saying we all agree he drafted too high on him.
Yeah, but Mahomes will play. I mean, Mahomes is good.
Mahomes would be very good.
Round pick.
I'll give this a 3.6 for me.
Yeah, I was gonna go 2.7. like or 2.75. Let's go. You know,
I'm giving this a
Go-
1.
I'll go 5.
This is worse than auto draft. This is a 1. If you had walked away
I
from your
would
computer,
agree.
you'd have a
Yeah.
better.
I would agree.
So like you did worse
Speaking
than
of-
the basic just mentality of taking the best available. You did worse than taking the first one on your chart.
Yeah.
That's a 1. That's a 1. The worst
Yeah.
draft I've ever seen in my life.
I actually gotta
It's-
change my. I have to change my score because of the bench. Like the bench is important in the 10-team league. There's a lot
12
of
team.
studs on the
12
really
team.
bad.
This is a 12 team league.
This is he had this in the 12-team league.
This is the 12 team
Yeah.
league.
Miguel says a 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, his bench is really bad. His bench is just hopeful guys. Aside from, honestly, his best player on his bench, well, Mike Williams and Callaway, and those two guys you can't really rely on necessarily. Like they're good to have, but not just as your strongest pieces of your bench. It's rough. It's a bad one. But
That's rough.
speaking of if your team would be better if you walked away and didn't do anything, Darnell, you had a draft today, I think, and you didn't remember until later, right?
Yeah, I was too busy getting stuff ready for this show, and I
So-
completely missed it.
I'm so excited to.
What
rate
is your what does your team look like? Because this we can't even blame Darnell here. He did nothing. This is not Darnell, but this
I'll
is,
say it's better than that
we're gonna
team.
see if it's- Yeah, is this a 10-team league or 12-team league?
This
that you were-
is a. Let me take a look. This is me being degenerate. I wanted to draft so badly. I signed up for Yahoo. Well, I was like things for Yahoo overseas it. I was like, just give me more fantasy football, baby. So I signed up, put like $50 down. I was like, boom, let's go. And I have my team, and oh boy.
So what was your pick and how many teams are in the league?
Okay, let me tell you my team right now. Let me first pull up my team. What's my team named? Okay, all right. I'm the Porch
good
Pirates.
chance I'm reading this.
All right, so I'll pull up my team. Let me pull up two things. Let me put where I drafted everyone, and then pull up my team. So here's my roster right here. All right, I'm pulling up on the screen for you guys to take a look at. My team, okay. My starting quarterback is Justin Herbert, the Herbs. You know. I have my starting wide receivers: Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. My running backs: Zeke and Austin Eckler. Thank you, Auto Draft. I have Kyle Pitts. It is what it is. It got me Darrell Henderson. Ugh. Then I got Tyler Boyd.
Okay,
And,
could be good.
yeah, I got Tyler Boyd, AB, Matt Ryan for some awful reason, Tony Pollard, which is great. I actually do like that a lot. Irv Smith Jr. Then I got Justin Tucker, Rams defense, Denver kicker. I have two defenses because Auto Draft hates me.
So this is a 10-team league, I'm guessing.
This is indeed a. Let me double check. I don't know how many people. Yes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10-man league.
I mean, I think this seems like pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, I like your
obviously
team a lot.
10-team league is obviously your team's going to be better naturally. Miguel rates is 7.5, so he likes this team a lot better than the other one. But this just shows you how badly you can screw up a draft. Now, you're not going to win a league at a draft, but you might lose one at a draft if you're not careful. But this is solid, man. Justin Herbert, solid, a lot of potential.
I like that.
Worst case is not he has a pretty high floor, so he's very good. Your wide receiver core, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and then you have AB and Tyler Boyd as your backups. I love Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. I think both of them are second-year guys who look like probably the two best receivers of their class, which is a really good receiver class. Might go down with one of the best ever based off the rookie seasons. And honestly, CeeDee Lamb, he keeps moving up my charts. I just love CeeDee Lamb this year. I think he's great to take a risk on. And then Justin Jefferson is super reliable. He's going to give you some big weeks. Yeah, man. And then Eckler and Zeke is freaking great.
I loved that it drafted me two great running backs off. So unlike Mike Davis and Ronald Jones, I'm like, okay, thank God. At least I have Eckler so far in every league I'm in so far. Let's start it. I got Eckler.
But that's the thing. Like you went Eckler and Zeke in your first round, or your computer did, and you still got Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb in the next two picks. Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, that's a better receiver combo than. Well, no, it's at least close.
It's got potential.
Calvin Ridley and Chris Godwin. Like it's close to that good, and you didn't have to sacrifice two of the best running backs in the league to do that.
Yeah.
So
And I still got a quarterback that could probably, I would say,
our receiver is so deep.
I think it's safe to say that I feel Justin Herbert can average 20 points a game. I feel like that's not me being ridiculous. Like 20 points from my quarterback on average is like, I think that's good. Like, not the best, but I think that's pretty solid. And like, I like that. I like having these 20. And I think
he's got a high floor, like I said.
And he can go higher. He can go much higher. But I would say I feel like he can give me 19 to higher, 19 plus. And I'm like, great, because nothing's worse than having a quarterback that gets you like 11, or so I like that a lot. And again, I have to take Mahomes in the second round. I have Kyle Pitts, and I don't really believe in him, but I do now because I got him.
He didn't cost that much. I mean, it seems like you got him in the 5th or 6th, but which
he was a stud in college. He could be up there with Ridley.
Let me tell you what everyone got drafted. So of course my first round draft pick was Zeke Eckler. My third round draft pick was Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. 5th, this is where if I was here, I would have gone for Mike Davis or something. But I got Darrell Henderson. Then I got Kyle Pitts, Justin Herbert in the 7th round. I got the Rams defense in the 8th. Got Justin Tucker in the 9th. Again,
which you would not have done. You would have gotten whatever.
But you probably, was probably the best defense and probably the best kicker, at least.
Yeah, true. But I would have waited on the kicker. The Rams.
Yeah, you don't ever pick defense and kickers that early.
No.
But
at least you got me the Rams. I'm like, all right, at least you got me a good one. And then I got 8, but I still got Tyler Boyd in the 10th. I still got AB in the 11th. I'm not going to even count Matt Ryan. And then I got, Pollard, who I do like, especially because I have Zeke. I'm like, oh, thank you, computer, for backing me up. Like, oh, you smart. You're so smart, computer. And then I have Irv Smith in case Pitts doesn't work out. It knew in my heart of hearts what I wanted. And Denver because it was like, why the hell not, And it's weird because Adam Thielen in this league went behind Darrell Henderson. So I have no idea how many people auto-drafted, but I had been here, I could have had the Justin Jefferson Thielen stack, but...
that's a tough. You usually don't want to stack 2 wide receivers on the same team because then you're competing for targets with yourself.
I'll say this much:
with the guys who are that good, it's not.
My exception: Julio Jones and AJ Brown. I will take both of them, and I will start both of them every week, and it's ready for the pain. It's ready.
It can be profitable if your quarterback passes, if he just throws a lot, like Dak Prescott. That's why CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and even Gallup, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are closer in terms of ADP, but someone like Gallup, that's why he gets selected too, because Dak Prescott, he could throw the football, and Tom Brady did the same thing with the Bucs wide receivers. I love CeeDee Lamb, man. I feel like CeeDee Lamb can outperform his ADP. He's rocking 88. Jerry Jones wanted him to wear 88. There's a lot of meaning behind that. He knows that. And this guy was a rookie that ended up becoming the WR1 on his squad. I love Amari Cooper. That guy can get hurt. And for the longest, Amari Cooper was that biggest boom or bust guy. He'll get you 4 points, and then next week he gets you like 27, and you're just like wilding out. I love CeeDee Lamb. I think he could, potentially be up there with like Calvin Ridley, similar to how Calvin Ridley was last season, and that's why he's going up 8th overall, apparently. But I could see him for sure, exceeding his ADP, his value by at least like 2 rounds.
That's all.
I like it, Darnell. I give you a solid almost 8.
I mean.
I'll give it a I'm gonna go like
very well-rounded team.
We're going like 8.8.
7.7.
All right, 7.7. Okay, let me show you a league where some people are as the flip side. I actually made this one, and other people auto-drafted. All right, so this is a 12-man league. All right, and I'm gonna show you this team again. Let me know what you think. This was a team where I got to actually choose my players, and everybody else was auto-drafted. Well, not everybody else. Well, a lot of people were. All right. So my quarterback, I think Ramon would appreciate this, or actually Garrett, or both of them. Who knows? My quarterback is Matthew Stafford, the Matthew Stafford. All right. I have, again,
more of that.
Austin Eckler. You got to keep tradition going. I'm getting him in every league I can this year. I got Aaron Jones. I got Robert Woods. I have Julio Jones, Waller the Baller, Chase Edmonds, Rams defense, then Buffalo's kicker. On my bench, OBJ, Zach Moss, Antonio Brown, who I guess also is my guy this year, A.J. Dillon to back up my Aaron Jones, Darnell Mooney because Darnells are dope, and A.J. Green. I also was able to grab Michael Thomas, who I then promptly moved to my IR spot so I can grab another player.
How many teams is in this league?
I'll tell you right now. In this league, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people.
Yeah, it's a solid team. I like how you have 3 different AJs: Aaron Jones, AJ Brown, and AJ
I don't have AJ Brown on this one, sadly. I have AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. So you just need to go get AJ Brown, and this team is complete.
I'm down.
Like the last Infinity Stone for you.
Right now, I was glad my team is called Keeping Up with the Joneses because I got Aaron Jones and Julio Jones. So I was like, all right, I'll be cheesy. But what do we think? What are you giving that?
It's gonna be 7.8.
You're that one judge. It's like just refuses to give me the 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9.3. If you had Cooper Kupp rather than Woods, I would have given it like a 9.7.
Yeah, I give it like an 8.7. I think it's a really good team to start off with.
I love it. I love it so much, especially because it seems like you got Julio Jones like way later, and we've seen him be so great, and Tannehill knows how to freaking throw the ball. Like the Titans are gonna get so much freaking points, bro. They're awesome. And what's going on with Zach Moss and Singletary? Like, who's the guy? Like, wasn't Zach Moss the guy, or what?
Yeah, but then he got banged up, I think. And yes,
because I've seen Zach Moss go so low, and I just remember like there being an opportunity that Zach Moss was the new guy because Singletary just kept getting hurt.
Yeah, Singletary. I feel like it should have been his time, but just.
I know Josh Allen Lyons. Like, I know he's gonna steal like running opportunities, but still, like Zach Moss, like on your bench, just right there, like in case Edmonds doesn't work out, and you can just toss Moss in there, like.
And then I got Michael Thomas on the bench, AJ. So it's like, all right, I got some options here. So
you got some veterans, is what you do have. You got a few vets on your team. The age on your team is probably, a little bit older.
I want you to keep that same attitude when the Lakers season start. Because I already know in our basketball group chat, it's going to be like, hey, with age comes seasoning. Or some wild mad man thing. I'm like, well, hold on here. Talking about what?
A lot of experience, a lot of opportunity.
A lot of experience.
Niner AG says, dude, I hate my team with the passion. Niner, please tell us, before we end this show. Please, 5 minutes.
Before we end the show.
5 minutes before we end the show, please tell me, what is your team? Give us as much as you can give us, because I'm very interested to see who your team is.
I know he's winning by far with Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift. Huge fan.
I know I'm winning because I have Eckler in every league, and
I like it. Eckler's your ride or die this year.
Eckler's my guy.
I think we got our ride or dies by our next episode. Maybe.
Remember how Garrett was talking about Higbee and how great he was that one season for those 5 games. Off, Hawkinson, he did the same. He's obviously like the WR1 on that squad.
Allen's my ride or die this year. Keenan Allen, he's my guy.
Okay. Miguel says I saw his team's not that bad. I'm really curious what Niners team is looking like.
Kyler, solid QB, solid.
Very solid.
Kyler can run. He's very quick.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Remember how they were concerned about his height?
It's fine. Dude.
Fantasy.
Remember when he was drafted in the first round in baseball by the A's? That's wild.
Oh, McCaffrey and Eckler. This looks great so far.
Yeah, this is. I don't see how you could hate this team. Don't matter who your wide receivers are at this point.
Okay, I'm very curious. I'm like, what the heck? What team is this?
How the heck did Eckler get all the way down to you? I'm gonna guess this is a 10 or 18 league.
I like his. I mean, so far
sounds like he is. Sounds like he has DK Metcalf as a wide receiver.
Metcalf, Juju. Well, yeah, Juju. I mean, that's for the kids.
I don't love the Juju, but I mean, good. It's solid.
TikTok star.
Yeah, kids love Juju.
And like the team, they're gonna want to have him play because of his presence on social media.
You know what though? Juju is low key. He was solid last year. He wasn't flashy. He was very solid.
Send him to the Saints. Some Juju in the Bayou.
They could use Juju.
Yeah, I want that. Yeah, he seems like he's the perfect guy to be on the Saints.
Hawkinson. Okay, not bad. This is not a bad team. I like this.
I like this team.
This is like a very
any team with McCaffrey is hard to hate. And you have McCaffrey and Eckler.
10-man league.
10-man half point.
I mean, yeah.
I think you got a solid team, man. I mean, your wide receivers could use some help, but there's wide receivers are so deep. You can pick guys up off waivers week 1. You can find some gold in there. We gave you a few nuggets you can maybe stash on your bench. So
work with them, see what's happening.
Solid. It's a good little start to your team, though. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be back multiple times this season and preseason. doing multiple like team breakdowns, taking a look at people's drafts, examining the preseason, getting ready for the season, and obviously through the season. He's also got on his bench Swift, Hollywood Brown, Niners defense.
Butker kicking. Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. You're gonna win the league.
Swift on your bench is awesome.
Yeah, having Swift on your bench is not. Yeah, Hollywood Brown, a lotto ticket. So it's like, okay, maybe this year turns it around. It's not the awful. Prescott is a trade. For honestly, I mean, I would see how the season goes. I would. But... Yeah, seeing how the season goes, I wouldn't be opposed to moving Kyler if I can get a really solid like wide receiver. Who knows?
He's got Callaway and Davis on his bench. Like, yeah, it's a solid team, man. You got a lot of stuff you can do there. Your wide receiver, your running back core is very strong, though.
Yeah.
So if you do feel like you're in a rut, maybe trading a guy like Swift away to get a really good wide receiver.
Package Swift and Juju. Package them on that.
So what's the best you can get for that? Like Devontae Adams?
Swift and Juju. I think you could.
Like Diggs.
Like DeAndre Hopkins.
Nah. I
think D-Hop. I mean, I would try and get a guy like D-Hop or something.
I would try to get like I'll try to get. I think I wonder. I would wonder if I can get Mike Davis, and if I can get Julio Jones.
Well, they'd have to be on the same team, but something like that could be cool. Yeah. Anyways, I'm curious to see how your team ends up before this season starts.
Keep us updated.
Hit up our socials.
But anyway, if you can't see, we have our socials right there. We'll be here on YouTube. And, of course, all our shows, if you missed it, they're saved. You can see them. We'll also be trying to add some additional content as the season goes on. So please stay posted with that. We'll be back next week at some time. If you don't already follow us on Twitter to stay posted with that. Otherwise than that, have a great fantasy season. Have a great day and an even better weekend. And other than that,